A debate has erupted in Ebonyi State over claims that the state missed out on a $27 million World Bank performance-based grant under Hope Governance Program. Civil society groups argue that the state failed to meet key governance and public financial management benchmark required to qualify for the funding, describing it as a missed opportunity to strengthen education, health care, and institutional reforms. The Ebonyi State government, however, has rejected the allegations, insisting that they are politically motivated, pointing instead to several other grants and development interventions secured under the current administration. So joining us to discuss the controversies, the concerns raised by civil society, and what it means for governance and accountability in Ebonyi State is Charles Otu, spokesperson for Ebonyi Civil Society Coalition. He joins us live from Abakaliki. Charles Otu, great to have you. Charles, can you give us the empirical details of how Ebonyi missed the mark on all of this funding threshold that it couldn't get? I'm talking about details, facts, figures, empiricals, numbers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning.
And everyone in the studio. We held a press conference. If you watched the background, we detailed 9 criteria, 9 key areas the World Bank assessed. Number 1 was public financial management. Number 2 was education governance. Then number 3 was public healthcare governance. And then there was also the issues of fiscal responsibility. About a total of 9 of them, including budget transparency, budget and fiscal transparency. And we took our time to prepare the background of our research, and we presented it to the public during our press conference. And if you look at the infographics on display, we try to relate to the public. It details the performance of Ebonyi in those key areas. In the key 9 areas, Ebonyi scored weak. And it was only in one area is called moderate. And for a state that is grappling with education, that is grappling with primary health care, what it means is that Ebonyi missed out on getting a total of 37 billion 800 million naira. The implication of this is that this money would have come on its own to help Ebonyi in critical sectors such as education. I'm happy, Rufai, that Arise TV aired a video clip of a dilapidated school somewhere around the Zanot local government area. And in that, that was just one of the samples of the many other state of schools in Ebonyi, especially as it concerns basic and primary education. Now, for a government that could have assessed a $500 million HOP governance grant that could have helped in these sectors, it became concerning for us. And the implication is that Ebonyi was not able to improve its primary and basic education. It was unable to improve its health sector, primary healthcare sector. It was, as a matter of fact, if you look at all the states, we paired it with other states. Abia came top, followed by Enugu and Imo. Across the southeast, Ebonyi, that is the least educationally advantaged, could not access anything in the key sectors that World Bank wanted that money to be deployed to. And what was the issue? Key performance governance thresholds were not met. One of the key areas was the issue of budget, fiscal responsibility. Ebonyi is about the only state where politically exposed persons have more contracts than contractors that are known. And you can quote me because we have done our research and we found out that more than 95% of the contractors are actually politically exposed persons. What do? These individuals register companies as late as some of them this year, some last year. A company, for instance, was registered in September 2023, and by February, just about 5 months after, the company was awarded contracts running into billions of naira. What does it do? 6.02 billion naira that was allocated for school renovations across the entire 13 local governments of the state. None of the projects have gotten to 50-60% completion. What you see are politically exposed people just taking these resources from the government. And these are the key reasons we studied that was linked dependently with the findings of the World Bank. That was why Ebonyi couldn't access any of the grants in any of the key areas that World Bank assessed. The issue of publication of budgets, medium-term expenditure frameworks, and other fiscal documents which are not made public became concerning. In terms of budget performance, in 2023 particularly, Ebonyi never published its budget records. It never made it public throughout 2023. And the medium-term expenditure framework too was not published. Last 2024, they couldn't meet up with the 31st March deadline. And it's just about last year that such document was made public. And you ask, what does this mean? What it means is what you're seeing, that is the resultant effect of Ebonyi being denied the World Bank $27 million grant, as it were. So, and we as a civil society, we are saying the state can do better. Why will a state not concentrate in tackling key issues? The governor has done well in the area of enhancing tertiary education. Some people are on scholarship abroad. Kudos to him. But if you don't take care of the proper foundation, which are, i.e. the schools you saw in Ezanot and other parts, even in the Abakaliki urban territory where I'm talking from, you cannot access a school that has a complete laboratory. That's a complete, well-furnished laboratory within the urban territory. And you ask, where are the resources that has been earmarked? In the 2026 fiscal budget alone, over 20% was allocated for education. Where is it going into? Where are the model schools that were supposed to be built across the 35 model schools across the 13 local government areas? 3 years down the line, Governor Wifuru has not justified expenditures in these directions. And these are the issues, because Ebonyi is a state that is not always on the national front burner. Most of the times, issues that happen around Ebonyi, don't always hug the headlines as it should. Number one, the issue of the budget. We looked at the budgetary provisions. The execution of the budget in the last 3 years has been most lackluster. What happens? The appointees, commissioners, special advisors, special assistants to the governor, they are more interested in, gloating over issues as serious as this, missing out on this performance, independently verified system performance-based assessment. They gloat over it. And that was why, if you watch the response and you read it, you would have seen the response that the government merely listed projects that are huge category error. I'm a data and policy analyst, and I can confidently tell you that all the response that we've gotten are totally unsatisfactory. That is why we called for this debate.
Okay. Yes, and the civil society organizations in Ebonyi State have asked the state government to have that debate with them. But in response, the first response is that this is politically motivated, that it is that they've done enough work and the CSOs are just crying foul. I'd like you to share with us beyond that what the implications of this loss of grants, because I know that for a number of the civil society organizations, these grants are a lifeblood for the project that you do in the state. So number one is that what is the cost to the civil society organizations, and number two is where is their alternative source of funding? Can the government meet this gap or close this gap?
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, is to debunk that claim. I read one Honorable Shinedoga say that, look, these are politics, these are all politics. This civil society coalition, comprising three civil society groups, which includes the Committee for Defense of Human Rights Action Group, and of course, Good Living Initiative. We have been around. In November 2025, I remember that this same Arise Morning Show hosted Professor Agbo, our leader, in a program like this, where we're talking about issues of rights, defense of people's rights. At the same time we held this press conference, we also talked about AEDC and other matters, affecting Ebonyi State. We have been there, we have been speaking up. The only concern we have is that whenever we tend to talk about government takes it up as politics, as mere rhetorics. They reply us in ways that are measures that you begin to wonder, are these people really even going through the website of the state government I can assure you, Ayo, that if you go through ebonystate.gov.ng, if you access the website, you're going to see that governments, most of the information we sourced during the press conference came from the website of the state government. They don't know who was awarded what contract, what is the address of the contractor. An ICIR report early this year detailed that a contract worth billions of naira was awarded to about 10 companies that had no addresses traced to them. And because of the way Ebonyi is, there are not too many civil society groups. That is why we came together as a coalition to say, look, government has to answer. All we expected was a more modest and honest way of saying, look, we have looked at the issues. There is another cycle coming. We will improve. Instead of attempting to sidestep what we are raising as germane concerns, sidestepping it as mere politics or rhetorics. They are saying they have attracted them, for instance, Nigerian Military Academy or Nigerian Military Depot somewhere in Afikpo, Amasri and Deda. They are mentioning the Nigerian Civil Aviation College too. NCAT, they are mentioning spin and wash programs.
Charles.
These are programs that come on their own. They are huge category error to refer to World Bank assessment that is based on performance with listed federal.
Charles, okay, Charles, if you can hear me.
Thank you, I can hear you.
Yeah, there are two sides to this story.
I can hear you, sir.
What I will need you to address specifically is the allegation by the Francis Nwufuru administration that the so-called coalition of civil society organizations in Ebonyi State is sponsored by political opponents. And the special assistant, I think, on communication to the governor on this particular matter went ahead to list all the developmental projects that state government has embarked upon, either in the energy sector or in terms of the provision of infrastructure, and that the civil society, your group, and others coming together, you have generally just disregarded this and that you are lying to the public. So respond to those allegations, because you've been trading words. Because Ebonyi State government will also come here to have the right of reply. So be careful how you just go to town saying they lack transparency, they lack budgeting processes. There are two sides to the story.